Cambodia is a kingdom of contrasts. Legendary ruins wrapped in the twisted roots of towering fig trees, a ruined life trapped in the twisted body of an amputee. Rich in culture but otherwise very poor, the average Cambodian makes less than $1 a day. So children search these muddy waters looking for food for their family.
And they bring this home for food?
Yeah, for their food, they can make sour soup.
My guide, Chiev Hoi, tells me the poorest Khmers don't use birth control.
They still have maximum 5 to 8 children for one family.
By day, some of those children serenade tourists or sell souvenirs. By night, some will be forced to sell themselves.
What is that?
Boxes of a condom.
It's my first night in Cambodia, and it didn't take long to find the brothels.
Oh, she's hiding her face.
According to some surveys, as many as 20% of the men who travel to Cambodia are sex tourists. Men allegedly, like Miami Beach resident Kent Frank, who is under arrest for having sex with young girls.
The big woman, is she the...
Girls he may have picked up at a brothel like this one.
She's the owner, the big woman.
Okay. And those are her girls?
Some scream and hide when they spot my camera. The owners get violent. That is because the pressure is on to stop the sexual exploitation of minors with a new law called the PROTECT Act.
Right, here's our U.S. Immigration and Enforcement banner.
Anthony Mangione is a Fort Lauderdale-based special agent with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, the investigative arm of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
You may travel 5,000 miles away, we still will catch up with you.
And this ICE banner in Siem Reap drives that point home, no matter how far away home may be.
This Child Protect Act is serious about the time it put.
Let's talk about that.
It actually has a 30-year, a potential of a 30-year sentence for one count.
Since the PROTECT Act was passed in 2003, ICE has arrested more than 4,600 people as part of Operation Predator.
Franks was indicted out of Miami on 9 counts of violating the Child Protect Act.
Frank is the first South Floridian arrested in connection with acts committed in Cambodia.
The problem's not limited to Southeast Asia or Cambodia in particular, but that has a preponderance of the cases so far.
ICE relies in part on the investigative work of people like Frederick Thomas. He is the program manager for the French NGO Editus. Here, Frederick shows me a video of a sex worker in Cambodia's capital, Phnom Penh. She is just 11 years old.
How do you know that sex tourism with children is such a big problem here?
Because unfortunately, children solicit me to have sex with them.
It isn't difficult to find young girls for sale in Siem Reap.
Ask you?
Yeah.
For girl?
I just asked a local motorbike driver if he could find a 15-year-old girl for a friend.
You can find girl? You can find. How much? 30?
Bargain shoppers do research beforehand on websites designed for sex tourists. Using message boards, American men openly exchange information on what they call P for P, or pay for play.
These men, American men, actually exchange information about the names of brothels, the names of girls,
Right.
the cost per act.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the websites. It's a good place to get leads, but we know that they exchange information in more than just those. They're on those websites, that they're in chat rooms constantly talking to each other.
And here's where the talking stops and the P for P starts.
Is this the room that she uses? Yes?
Inside a brothel, a young girl shows me her bedroom, which doubles as her workplace. She may get paid as little as $5 for a single sex act. I ask if she's been with an American.
Some Westerners, like white skin? Yes?
Also living inside, a 6-year-old girl.
How'd you learn English?
Across the street, a Vietnamese girl laughs nervously, telling me she learned a little English from her first client, an American.
First client, American. Yeah. And how old were you?
She was 16 years old. Nearby, along a dirt road, stands Journeys Within, an American-owned and operated bed and breakfast. Owner Brandon Ross shows me the warnings inside tourist brochures. This is on page 1. But as Brandon's wife tells me, no warning would deter one guest from the U.S.
He told Brandon and Solomon how he had gone and slept with over 500 prostitutes throughout Southeast Asia, and was almost saying it in a boastful way.
Brandon took me to massage 333 and 555 at night, where we were chased away. But during the day and in the company of Editus, not only was I allowed in, but invited to dinner. The girls were not allowed to eat with us. Girls like two.
Does she enjoy this work, or is she kind of stuck? I mean,
I don't like this work just for my family, poor family.
Tu's tale is typical of the girls forced into sex slavery. A middleman gave her parents money, then she was given to the brothel.
how much money does she owe the brothel owner?
Tu says she is 17 years old. The folks at 82 seem to think she was much younger. Of course, like most of these girls, it's almost impossible to tell just how young they really are. We found out later that the brothel owner had hidden a 14-year-old girl from my camera. The following morning, we returned to the temples.
And not so far from here, in the temple at 1 kilometer from here, one day one children come to see me and ask me to have sex with him.
Here, there are subtle hints of trafficking.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Next time.
Young girls who speak some English and wear gold. And then there are the not-so-subtle hints.
We asked the children to make drawing about tourism environment and what's happened to them. We got some drawing of father and mother selling the children to pimps with jewels, etc. So we went to talk with the teacher and we got confirmation that this is possible, that sometimes there is children trafficking around this area.
But despite the poverty and, at times, perversion, there is hope. Hope in the work of men like Frederick, hope with the cooperation of the U.S. government, and hope in the giant smiling faces of Cambodia's temples and the smiling faces of the children who play in their shadows.